Keep it alive! Keep it alive! Can you do it the entire
Oh!
That was a weird power flex just there. I don't know what just happened. All right. Legacy. God, they're good.
Yeah.
It's time to dive back into the Nick bag. Before we do,
Thank God that's out of range. Range.
Oza64 thinks we should call you Skim Milky.
Skim Milky.
Fedora the Explorer says we should call Kweku Maui because he looks like Maui from Moana.
I see what's happening here.
Haha, that's fun.
I like that one, actually.
And then Speedy Boy says call Kweku Duck.
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 There you go.
Was that a duck noise?
Was it a duck or was it a goose? What does a goose sound like?
That's what the duck from the cricket does. That's all I know.
Duck in the
Because I played so much Shane Warne cricket as a kid, and I got
absolutely.
a lot of ducks apparently, so I know exactly what it sounds like.
What does a goose sound like?
Honk.
Thank you very much. Our next Nick Bag question comes in from @BrentJones. Without getting yourselves in trouble again, briefly describe your worst on-air incident, accident, slip, and any repercussions from it.
I can't
You can't?
I never did one that was particularly bad. I did say an F-bomb once. That's probably the worst thing that I've
Yeah.
ever done. And the repercussions were, I heard it, and then we made eye contact. I was like, I know, and we're never doing it again.
So the worst one I've ever seen is we used to have a standing area over there where we would cast from, and you would have to walk behind the standing area to get towards the couches. It was actually the desk that was set up, right?
Yep.
And Fish one time was just on his phone. I was casting, and he just walked behind us.
Yeah, right.
And,
On camera, yeah.
On camera, and our producer wasn't a fan of that move.
No.
And let him know, just in no uncertain terms, that wasn't to happen again.
Also, when Fish came here for the first day this split,
Yeah.
he walked in and our producer was like just talking through the rundown. He was sort of looking at the set. Fish was looking at the set, and obviously he watched and stuff. But at one point, the producer said, and during the segments, if you feel like you need to go get a drink or go to the bathroom or something, just hop up and walk out. And he was appalled because he was like, you chewed me out so hard for
doing
casually
that, yeah.
walking on set, and that's what happened. Mine was bad. It wasn't esports, it was on a TV show, and we were doing so I have a really bad habit of when I get carried away with something, like because I kind of push the line professionally, constantly.
No.
I wouldn't have guessed
Me?
that.
Come on.
Never.
But sometimes I tip over, and it's like, I got wrapped up in the moment, and so
Now, which one is this?
so I was doing a TV show, and my co-host, who is a really, really good friend of mine, is still a really good friend of mine, despite what happened with her, is sitting next to me. I can't even remember the lead up to what happened, but I made a joke about getting a haircut, and that women's hair is really easy to cut because you basically just trim the ends and that's it, and like anyone could do it. And then at some point, I got a pair of scissors.
Oh, no.
And I just snipped a small amount of her hair, just just there, sort of that much off from. And it was and as I did it, I was like, this is probably the worst decision you've ever
I'm
made
dead.
in your entire life. Yeah.
You're like
And-
laughing
dead.
slowly.
Yeah, and she just heard the sound and looked at me, and then looked at the hair, color drained from her face. The chat's already going, this is so bad, what is wrong with you? I know, it was terrible, it was a terrible thing. And then she rightly got very angry at me, and I was so ashamed. So ashamed. I offered to pay for haircuts, whatever. That was definitely the worst thing I've done.
That's bad. I have one, right? So we don't do that many live events.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I'm just on this stage. I'm with a co-host,
I know it.
and then all of a sudden, boxes are being brought out onto the stage, and then I'm feeling people's faces through boxes. And then it turns out, not only was it humiliating, but I was too good at it. So then we had way too much time in this segment. So then we got people out of the crowd and started giving them boxes, and then we promised them headsets. I don't know if we had the headsets. So then there was all these boxes, people in boxes with no headsets, and it was just a moment.
The person on stage with you sounds very handsome. Lots of people saying haircutting segment at MEO. I have
Oh, you can
pitched-
cut my hair.
Can I?
Yeah, absolutely.
In any way that I want?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. You just witnessed my intense pleasure.
Me and Rusty are
I've
pretty
been pitching
tame.
that for a year.
Well,
Because I'm the same as
Kind
you.
of,
Like,
kind
I've
of.
not really had a major disaster. I think the only thing really that really caught me off guard was when I did my first live event, of like powdering my face as I'm doing a like hype play-by-play mode. I'm just like all this, right? And I'm like, like get out of my face, right? So it was a bit intense.
Yeah.
But outside of that, it was more just, I've just slipped in an F-bomb or like,
I nearly died. I forgot about this one until you were saying that.
really?
Yeah. So
Wait,
you know
makeup related?
Powder?
No. So I was casting with Quickshot at Worlds one year, and we were on a raised elevated platform,
2016?
and he stood on my caster cable, and I jumped when I shoutcast,
Yep. Yeah.
and he stood on my caster
That's
cable.
bad.
I jumped. It was up the back of my suit,
That's
so my
so
whole
bad.
headset ripped off. But then I couldn't get down the back of my suit, so it's just thrown me backwards, and I literally nearly fell into the crowd. And then Quickshot didn't even realize, just continued play by play, and like attendants are running out, and I literally thought I nearly was dead.
So there was, I believe it was 2016 Worlds in Wuhan,
Oh, there's just been so many of them. but
where
continue.
I believe you were there for this one, where the desk set up for the casting area we wanted to see the crowd and everything. It was set up in a way where, I don't want to say it was dodgy, but it was thrown together very quickly. And everyone jumps. A lot of people are jumpers, particularly the European team when they're casting. And it started to get a little bit lopsided. And then eventually someone jumped a little bit too high, and the whole desk during a cast of Worlds just bang,
Oh, that's
just
so
crashed,
bad.
and it was heavy. It was all over us, and it's just like you're trying to seriously, in front of all these people, cast a game that's a big deal, and you have to take it seriously. And you've got Red Bull all over you, water everywhere, and the desk is falling apart. You're worried the floor's gonna fall apart.
the
You're 10
screen?
stories up. The screen's just in front of you.
Oh,
The
so it's still there. That's standard.
The screen's on the desk that's tilted.
Yeah.
So you're just like, yeah, I really could see us leave for, help me.
That's a bad time. Lady Dubsy in the chat says that I can cut her hair as well at MEO. I will try really hard to cut it well, but I can't make any promises, and you will need to sign all the necessary waivers. The next question comes in from, well, they didn't say that I needed to keep them anonymous, but I feel like I have to in case your roommate watches the OPL. My roommate is moving out after years of living together. For most of the time, it's been fine, but over the last 6 months, she's become a nightmare to live with. How do I tell her now she's a pain in the ass while also wishing her well in the future?
You can't.
You can't? So you can't maintain the friendship while also saying the last 6 months have been a living
This is interesting though, because I feel like, you know, you learn a lot about your friends when you live with them. Like they can be very tolerable to hang out with in social environments or
true.
like school or whatever, but as soon as you live with them, you see another side of them, and maybe that's not as desirable because they don't meet your expectations. So I feel like just leave it on what it was. You know, they move out and you can be friends outside of it again.
Revert to the friendship pre-living
What it was
together.
before, yeah. You kind of like, that was an element of my life. That's what it was. You were good outside of that.
I'd say if you were going to fix it, you'd have to do it before they move out, I think, because it'd be weird if you said, goodbye, by the way, it was horrible. You know? Like
Really?
you couldn't do it the day
Absolutely.
they move out. If you want to retain a friendship,
Depends how close they are with
If
this
I
person
had
as
been
well.
pissing someone off for 6 months,
Yeah.
and we were close enough to live together, and
Yeah.
they hadn't told me, and then they do it as I'm moving out,
Yeah.
I think I wouldn't be able to speak
maybe
to them
egging
ever
the
again.
apartment.
Oh, see, I'm the opposite.
Maybe
I'm the
edging.
opposite. I feel like you don't tell them for another 6 months. So in 6 months' time, you go,
Oh, and then you just really snide. Oh, how's your new place? My place, so much cleaner since you left.
yes,
Toilet's
exactly,
always clean.
exactly.
Shower's great. No one's leaving, you know, stuff in the shower anymore.
That is absolutely-
my razor blades have stopped going missing. I'm saving like $24 a month.
Yeah.
Is that how you do it?
Or you go to a gathering with this person and their new roommate, and then you go, oh, has she done the thing yet where she set your mattress on fire?
How do you
that was
have
annoying.
any friends?
What are you talking about? I'm a lovely
I think-
person.
If
On a
you ever
serious
did that to
level-
me, I would be hurt.
I think it depends how close you are with this person, if you see a friendship
You've
with them
lived them
afterwards.
for like 5 years, it sounds like.
No, but like,
To be fair, this is someone who's saying that the last 6 months they have not stepped up at all. I would have stepped up. I would have been the person who's like, hey, by the way,
and also like,
shit
what
up.
are they doing that's annoying them? Like, are they stealing like utilities? Are they just like, you know, playing loud music or having friends over for drinks at like 2 o'clock in the morning? You're like, come on, man, I got work. I mean, there's so many different factors, right?
It's too late. Live with it. In fact, I think you should tell them to not move out.
Devil's advocate.
That's good. All right. Final question. At Black Scarecrow says, what does the OPL mean to you? We're getting philosophical.
Oof.
Opportunity.
Oh.
Yeah, because it's an opportunity for like, you know, in a region that's still like, what is the internet? Look, like coming from Europe and then moving to New Zealand, and
Yep.
they're like, we have dial-up. And I'm like, we've had fiber for like 20 years. What's going on here?
Yeah, okay.
And plus, it's like a region segregated from the rest of the world, right? Which makes it hard for scrims. So I feel like, if you're good enough, you can put apart that excuse that I see a lot of players say, oh, if I was born in Europe, I'd be a big player. Or if I was born here, I'd be a big player. So it's like opportunity.
Look at that.
Prove.
Wow. God, you just throw it
Yours
on the
better
table
starts
sometimes.
with P now. O is for opportunity.
P. For what I do to myself. That was your poem, right?
Yes, it was.
No, I don't know. How deep do we want to go on this, right? Because the OPL gave me an opportunity to do something that was impossible. Like, what I thought was impossible. Like, without going too far into backstory, I gave up on League of Legends because I wanted to be in the real world and work in a real job. And then 6 months into that, maybe a year into that, I get a message from Pastry Time that's like, hey, you want to come back? I'm like, all right. And here I am 5 years later living what I would say is the absolute dream in terms of career opportunities. So the OPL means everything.
Wearing Papa Smithy's jacket.
Papa
Oh, you go
Smithy.
first.
That was a theory in chat. We have
Smithy.
15 seconds,
Ah,
so it's
okay.
you and
It's a
me.
trend.
So I
So,
feel
like-
like they want you.
So picture this, right?
Yeah.
It is like a luxury car.
The producer's going insane.
It
with the
is
setup for this
so
story.
comfortable.
Yep.
But you just don't even have to pay. It's like a free ride through life. Nah, in all seriousness, the OPL, I'm really lucky because I have a long-term partner, a kid, and I use esports as my only form of income. So, I mean, to me, it's like freaking awesome. It's the best job ever while supporting my family. So it's like, I don't work a day. In all seriousness.
There you go. Even though you make the rest of us really work with you.
Cruisiest car.
And for me, it's just a good time. It's a good time. That's what the OPL is for me. That it's fun. I get to watch some cool video games. I get to watch some people who are great at that, work with some cool people. But also, like, there's really not another esports broadcast that's kind of like this, I feel like. And I know that half of you hate that. But you know what? I hate you. And I'm just really happy with what we get to do here every Friday and Saturday night. And speaking of the things that we do every Friday and Saturday night, it is League of Legends. It is Game 4 of Day 2 of Week 3 of Split 1 of the 2019 OPL. And it is
2020.
Order versus... Did I say 2019?
Yes, you did.
God, that was so smooth.
Do we say goodbye to Jake now?
Yeah, I'm out.
Get out of here because it's Order versus Mammoth.
Quick, bring
Which
over
camera am I
graphic.
looking at? Let's bring up the Order lineup to cover the exit.
Quick run.
It's Swiper in the top lane, Only, Harry, Rare 7, Nickname Dream, and finally we got Ayla rounding out the cast in the support role. Order didn't have the strongest start today.
No.
Hoping to fix this against Mammoth, who have not had the strongest start to the split.
Yeah, well, Order actually had a really strong start and then lost it all very quickly and just lost the game as a result of that, right? So that strategy was clearly sound from them, and we'll see how they utilize it again coming into a opponent who is yet to find themselves a win.
There you go. Couldn't have said it better myself. And I refuse to. There he is, walking behind the men, ready to lead. Let's take a look at the Mammoth lineup, because Mammoth could be looking for their first win,
Yeah.
and to put a real thorn in the side of Order, Skim Milk. Talking to him.
We've got the boys, what have you called him? Moana in the top lane?
Maui.
Yeah, Maui.
He is
Maui?
not Moana.
He's not
That
Moana.
would be-
Moana is a small girl.
Well, I was going to say, he could be Moana, because like the performances, I'm not going to go that way. Kweku in the top lane, Bass in the jungle, Lived in mid, and Styled and Nausicaa are your bot lane. I really want to see them find a win, because the fact is, like, they show up week in, week out. You always see them smiling. They're having a good time. They're getting to play some League of Legends, kind of harnessing what we mentioned before about opportunity, about enjoyment. You're getting to do something that is different than what you had before. What was that sign?
No idea. And I respect your sentiment, but if it's Spawn's team that loses, we're about to go into NPL afterwards.
it's
So
why he's on
that
someone's
couch, though.
losing
You
today.
have a beat here for the real dark.
I
gets
had to
bad.
sit next to him. He's like
Yeah.
the begrudging dad of like,
gets
who
bad.
are you? New blood.
He
Get
was,
out.
what he was saying before about I haven't worked a day in my life, that is bullshit. Because it gets horrible here when they lose.
Yeah.
All right, it is time for game number 4, Order versus Mammoth, after this break.
It's the final game of the week, really, Rusty. It's week number 3 as we jump into the Macca's Champion Selects. Mammoth, hungry for that victory, hungry to try and take down Order. Well, unable to find themselves a win earlier today. 2-3 they stand. Coach Spawn on standby, looking to turn it around to finish this week 1-1 for their one-day wonder from Melbourne.
Yeah, very big game here for Order. They've got the negative win rate right now, but sometimes they look like the best team in the league. Sometimes they look like they could be competing with Mammoth at the bottom. It really does feel like it's a swingy team right now. And honestly, that's not a surprise. Order have been notoriously the entertainment team right now, and maybe that does come at the cost of some early performances. But they should still find their identity. They should still find their consistency as the split continues. And that's what you look at with Order, is how are they going to progress after their first loss today? Well, pretty much a bunch of veterans. So I don't think that loss will rock them in any way. They'll be fine coming into this one, and you should come into this one saying, we'll finish the week 3-3, but you have to get it done.
Well, they've adapted to the draft. We're not going to see a first pick on Aphelios this time around. It's going to be the Misfortune, which has always been a second pick response.
And they do love killing immobile AD carries.
Yeah.
Order. They fancied themselves an Aurelia earlier, but I mean, you can do that with a multitude of champions. The Ezreal, in response, being mobile, does enable the rest of your team to play the assassins themselves, if you would like, because you don't have to keep your ADC alive then. And Dream decent on the Ezreal, but, you know, world's their oyster. Draft is whatever they want it to be. All they know is their opponents have a Misfortune.
Varus locked in, pretty flexible here on that pick.
Yeah, you could put a Braum with it if you really wanted to. Cement your bottom lane straight away. Not a lot that beats a Varus Braum in that raw 2v2. But that's not the choice that they're going to go towards just yet.
Yep, they're going to blindly lock in the set now that's up and available. And we've heard Swiper mention he's quite happy to pick that into any matchup. Doesn't feel that it loses too hard. Regardless, not too bad at winning the lane. It's going to be the very first Nocturne we're seeing, I imagine.
That is a very early Nocturne pick. No idea what his jungle matchup is going to be.
Well,
and
isn't
usually
necessarily a jungle, because you've seen it in
it can
mid.
be mid. It can
We've
be
seen
mid.
it in top.
Yes, but usually Nocturne is picked as a response to an immobile champion that you could very easily take down, especially if they want to be in a side lane. So it's a set, which is the first big point that I want to raise, and ganking a set real hard. Not exactly the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
And even if it is mid, Order a red side, so they'll get the knowledge, they'll get the pick into it, whatever they would like. So we'll get to see it from Mammoth for sure. And I mean, with the jungle bans coming through, they're aware from Order's side that it could be.
Yeah, I want to highlight the point you mentioned before about Set. You know, very, very good at dealing with double melee dives. Obviously, the Haymaker there making it incredibly tough to get within his range to stick around. Yeah, no bar. I'm afraid so. Ayla isn't going to showcase what he can do with that one. I want to see something creative coming out here from Mammoth, obviously showcasing that they're not afraid to pick the Nocturne here quite early on. Maybe try and stump Order and spawn there as they discuss.
You know, like, not saying this as a bias of being a Bard one trick, but I actually think he's pretty strong right now. Just generally fitting into the meta quite decently, especially when you have Ornn compositions. You go the Redemption, you get that upgraded straight away. But
yeah, sure.
Nevertheless, not going to be seeing it, so I'll stop talking about it.
Nautilus is gone.
Lucky for all of you.
I'm sure there's multiple people in chat right now saying, oh, please, tell us more. Unironically, ironically, who knows? Another Hook champion taken away. No Fresh, no Nautilus. Seems to be a bit more of a common trend this week at least, or at least on Saturday anyway, to deny as many supports as possible, engage supports at that.
But there's still so many. You've got Leona for engaged supports. You've got Rakan if you want to be able to skirt in and out of the team fights. Again, Braum, while it is banned away, is always going to be another one of those choices. You've got the Blitzcrank that we saw from the Chiefs. I'm certain that Ayla could even look towards playing that one if he would like. But what they've done here, Order, they're going to last pick for their support. Waiting to see what the support is of their respective opponents after all these bans. The depth of champion pool very clearly still there for Ayla. So they'll blind pick themselves the Cassiopeia. They assume that the Nocturne could be in mid lane, but it's not.
It's not. As we've now revealed that LeBlanc is the mid lane choice here for Mammoth, who now need to decide how they wish to round this composition out. What support are they looking to use to bring this all together like a well-oiled painting?
Well-oiled painting.
It needs to be a masterpiece. Is Leona the golden goose?
I've never looked at a painting in my life And God, oh, that's well oiled.
Oh, I'm telling you. You've got to
Everything
look.
else. A
Oh, it's a
machine.
Tarek!
Yeah, it's a Tarek.
That's a well-oiled painting right there, I tell you that much.
It'll be interesting to watch the Tarek work with the Nocturne as well. If they find a way to combo those two champions together, an unkillable Nocturne will always be super exciting, and especially now that it is the jungle Nocturne, can go down towards the bottom lane with a lot of its focus into the Varus and the unknown, the Nami.
Love to see the Nami, one of my favorite champions there. Especially when you can pop that E and find yourself doing a fair bit of poke, obviously with the changes now affecting also abilities, not only just limited to the basic attacks. So nice to see a bit of a refreshing bot lane, something different from the norm.
And you can't really go cleanse if you were rare in this game for the Tarek stuns. You've got a Nocturne, you've got Misfortune damage to deal with as well. So he's going to go towards the heal, which again does make sense. And we find ourselves in this position now where the poke that comes out of the bot lane of Order is really strong. The kill threat that they have against their opponents, it's there, but it'd be the poke first. And for Mammoth to kill them, I think they need to use summoner spells or have a roam from the rest of their team. A teleport flank from the Ornn, Lived getting down there on the Blanc, Baz having the ultimate, being able to go down. I don't think they can touch them in the 2v2 with what they've now built in that matchup.
Going to be a fair bit of discipline here and just almost game sense from Nausicaa on this Tarek to read the situation. Obviously there's that ramp up time before his ultimate comes online. Trying to deny up that wombo combo or the damage that will ensue. Looking to see how they combine that, who they look to try and use it with, and how they find that synergy. The response obviously with Ayla.
Yeah.
Leaving that Nami to last choice. How much of an influence that can have? You know, you had the Ornn Horn going one way and the Tidal Wave going the other.
Oh yeah, I mean, Nami does have a lot of tools actually to stop the Ornn, particularly when you look at those two as well. It will be, I think choke point team fighting is actually a point that you inadvertently bring up there that is very much important in this game. When you have the set ultimates, the Cassiopeia with W as well, the Varus ultimates and the Namis, you would say that it's not the objectives itself. It's not inside the Drake pit where the fight happens. It's the choke points to and from the river, where I think a lot of the early action would be best suited for a team like Order, and it's not like that's massively different for Mammoth either, with Ornn and with Misfortune having the ultimates themselves as well. So I think that's like the primary focus, besides what will happen with the junglers at level 1, besides what will happen with the pathing from Only and from Bass, where they can make things happen, particularly Only, of course, being on the Elise. That will shift the way the game plays out, but both teams could just be playing around objectives. Full clear, go towards the Mountain Dragon. We may even see a 5-minute fight for that.
Well, no level 1 shenanigans are going to take place here. They are just going to fan themselves out. Scared up for vision. As I do believe Ayla's getting a little bit rowdy there. Ebb and Flow finding himself some of those important gold stacks to get that vision trinket online ASAP.
Getting some money.
Making money.
Has the Comet as well, actually. Didn't go towards summon Airy as the Nami, so much more poke focused, where the Airy could provide shields as it gives move speed to people.
The recall from Only to swap in to that scanner.
Triple stun.
Triple stun is good. It does force out the flash, and the Guardian gets popped as they are going to keep on going through. It's going to 3v3 engage, and it will be Liv that finds the jump on this one as he
They
comes
want the red
down.
to reset, it feels like. They're going to continue to push forward.
There is a fight that's breaking out between the two mid-junglers as well, but the stun's going to come out this time, not going to connect into anybody. Who gets it?
Bass.
It will be Bass.
And that is horrific for Order, because Only started Cocoon. And so now he has to do his jungle clear.
He needs a leash.
Have a Cocoon. Ayla's going to waddle over as well, maybe give a heal. He has to put some damage down. And so this really does throw a spanner into the works. If Only doesn't get this help, he basically doesn't jungle. So they get this done as best they can now. And already, while we're talking about this and Only's on his first camp, Bass has done 2, and he's on to the 3rd.
He's in trouble.
And Rare is copping the deeps down here as well in the meanwhile.
Summoner Hill already been burnt, actually, by both bot laners. Making sure they can survive within these engages, which has been a delayed invade, but I say it's been one of the first I believe we've seen in the OPL so far. And
they saw Hayri move up to the blue buff itself. The ward died just as he got there, however, and they didn't see him place that ward. However, the blue buff will be spotted. So we'll watch how Only plays this one out. He's going to do buff to buff.
It's going to give him some good vision to try and turn things around here as bot lane seems to stabilize. You can see the idea, right, from Order was to try and establish a nice early lead to try and really get this game ahead of them.
But I mean, at the end of the day, Nausicaa pressed E, stunned all 3 of them, and suddenly they couldn't kill him. and the reinforcements came.
Oh, well, hang on a minute, because bot lane is going to find the first blood. It's Mammoth in the driving seat.
Definitely is. Though Nausicaa picked that one up. Would have been much better suited towards styled pockets, but they still get the first blood. They'll push the wave in as well. Ayla very low with no summoners of his own, and Rare dies with flash up.
Bass is low, doesn't have any of those potions available as a fight takes place in the top lane. He's going to be the first one to join that one. Is he going to go for a flash cocoon? No, he's not. A shield actually denying that cocoon. Both going to back away.
Yeah,
Lived was on that
disengaging.
rotate.
I think LeBlanc does make the difference. It was also seen there through the scuttle crab that was taken and by only. Is Swiper keeping strong control of the top lane. Now Kweku doesn't even have mana, so he'll have to craft himself the Sapphire Crystal to sustain if he wants to stay there, and we'll do so. We'll see what happens bot lane as, like mentioned, Rare dies without flashing, as it was just a stun from Nausicaa. It was just that simple.
Yeah.
If Tarek stuns you, Mist Fortune gets to just lay you out.
The disrespect there as Rare hangs onto that summoner. Varus being so strong in those early levels 1 to 3, obviously with his blight stacking potential. Unable to find it in this situation, just gets bullied out the lane.
Set yells his own spells out loud as he used them. As he pressed E, he yelled Face Breaker. Which, by the way, they should probably call Now Kiss.
Kiss.
No, Now Kiss. Brings two people together and stuns.
Oh, he flashed for it! He flashed for it! It looks so disastrous, but big swips. Goes big.
I think Tien taught him that one. I remember that being used against Swiper. Gets the W flash on. Gets himself the kill. Gets the 1v1 against Kweku as well. And Maui lost his weapon.
Maori wishing he was Moana, because
Oh,
then
you're
you can't
struggling.
beat up a girl. I just lost you on that one.
No, you keep bringing up Moana.
I just want to say, I want to see how this went down, because it looked like Kweku was so damn safe. Flashes in!
Yeah. The true damage portion of
Beautiful.
the W connecting there as well after the flash. So Swiper plays that one out beautifully. Dragon started. Level 3 only. Will take a decent chunk of damage from this on until he gets the support of his team. But they've got the push in bot lane, so support's definitely there.
And Rare's done a fantastic job of actually catching back up in this lane. He was down a fair bit as a result of falling from that first blood. He's now back in that driving seat.
I mean, they just copped it because they had to help only clear. And that was the result of their level 1s. The unfortunate death that came from that from Rare maybe was avoidable, yes, but he has done very well to bring that back as Swiper ticks 6 and is on the hunt to break some faces.
Definitely will. And I feel like we're going to see a very similar circumstance here of
That is a
using the ultimate to make sure that Ornn can't be that menace. Bit of a poke. What's that?
It's a Glacial Shroud on the Ornn as well, so actually he'll hold that. Harry's looking.
The ultimate here on Harry, not going to make its mark as Liv turns his back towards that when he's trying to buy some time. Spell shield, sorry, no, actually the paranoia from the connection. Off that leash, not going to land.
Yeah, not able to find the kill, only now going to help in mid lane. He just rocketed up in experience after that dragon as well. Goes from 3 to 5, so finds himself well and truly back into the game. Also may somehow being able to keep up in farm with a Nocturne after the level 1. Just a bit of a paddling for you.
Well, level 1 definitely hasn't dissuaded only. He's back to where he was before, second time of try.
Yeah, it's the permanent priority from bot lane as well though, right? Like, gets them the dragon. Now the red buff definitely free because the
So much vision.
Mammoth 2v2 was off a reset, it seems. And so he gets the red. The trade happens in mid lane, so he knows the health values as well, only just playing very good League of Legends through the jungle. Their opponent's really struggling to have an answer. Not really playing to any strengths, Mammoth, just playing League of Legends right now.
No clear inclination of a strength or a strategy as of yet. But we are nearing that level 6 mark. And that's where Nocturne will come online. He's been farming relatively hard, only showcasing a single gank attempt in mid.
Well, here's what we know. Nocturne, close to level 6. Hayri, no flash.
Yeah,
If you were Mammoth, you'd say, this is the one.
it has to be.
Let's place vision as soon as we can to look towards the lane that the Cassiopeia is in. Right now, it just happens to be top lane. There's a couple shenanigans going on with map shifts and map movements. Order actually going up towards the Herald just as it spawns. So very early on their movement there, and Nocturne could hit 6 and find himself staring down a Cassiopeia that he wants to kill, because that's the correct side of the map.
And it's going to be interesting to see actually how Harry manipulates this wave based on those assumptions that you've made or based on those facts. I should really clarify.
Yeah, the way he would actually want to play this one out is push and then be with his team. A lot of the time, Ayla and Only should be missing through the river to assist the lane that needs it most. Here we go again.
The invade comes out, the repel to make sure he doesn't fall victim to a Tarek stun, but now they're caught in a choke spot. They're going to back out of that situation. Liv falling low. That's going to be the clone as the entire squad come on through. Cocoon won't land, but Oni chases down. The rest of the team staying to try. Paranoia gets unleashed. Who are they looking for? They're going all onto Swiper. That might not be the target because he pops the grit and he survives for a very long time. Harry able to find a trade in that situation.
Swiper might have been able to live there, actually, if he just walked away instead of using the ultimate. Got locked into the animation looking for the kill. They get the kill, so in the end it is that 1-for-1, and Only will be able to go towards the Rift Herald now. Start up Geraldine the Heraldine. We'll be able to lock that one down. Now, mid lane just about resetting priority. Styled wasn't really there at all. The flash was used by Nausicaa to try and get stuns off.
And Quicker wasn't there as well.
It felt like it was a lot of good plays, a lot of misplays, and a lot of chaos that happened in that fight. But it was Order going forwards, and it was Mammoth mostly running away, and that's the major difference.
Order seizing the moment, spotting an opportunity. But Mammoth still quite comfortable with their situation, pushing 2 lanes.
Now they do get the blue buff here, Bass, with the smite. Nice repel timing, and then unfortunately Rare tries to use his ultimate on the wall, and it doesn't lock walls down. Now Swiper still goes very aggressively under the turret as Only flashes down to try and get Bass, and as he ults, people get a little bit disoriented. Now this maximum damage, the Super Saiyan ultimate that Swiper gets there as he throws it, Nocturne dashes into it, so Swiper perhaps not expecting that. Couldn't see his health bar perhaps, so throws the ultimate and gets stuck under the turret and dies.
But those 2 kills right now are on Nausicaa. So you've got a beefy boy in the bottom lane.
Yeah, I mean, an 800 gold difference towards a Tarek from a Nami is negating a lot of the gold lead that Mammoth even have.
Correct.
Right now. Item spikes is what you'd have to look at then for the Tarek, because it's pretty meaningful at 1 item. If he can help his team, if there's something like the Ardent Sensor maybe. I'd say the 2 kills are a luxury that could afford you a tier if you really wanted it.
He's rushed the Merc Shreds as of yet because he has been that battle bruiser. Chalice online here for Ayla. Working towards the Fiends to boost out that healing potential. As another Drake spawns. Order in the driving seat so far with 1 mountain. So you're looking at Cloud on Ocean being the sole point. Once again, Order grouping on up. And rightfully so, because the Rift Herald will get popped. First plate hasn't even dropped on down, but true damage to connect. 2 plates full. Multiple members get gold. Tarek ultimate stacked on pop of the Nocturne, followed up by a bullet time. That's everything thrown into it to deny Rare of any comeback potential. He's 0-2, and Mammoth sees their own moment.
Yeah, once again, Rare uses the flash aggressively at the blue buff fight, misses his ultimate. Now this is the repercussions of Swiper going.
Indeed, the bubble lands onto Nausicaa, followed out here. They go golden, and Swiper just gets buried alive amongst multiple members. But this is where Harry can really shine. The poison going big. It's spreading onto multiple members. AoE is the key right now, but they are biting off maybe a little bit more than they can chew because the bubble connects. They are disengaging. Lived and Styled on the hunt.
Styled has no mana.
They have to disengage. They have to stop this one. The bubble turns. They look to collapse. Styled. He flashed on nothing.
He has no mana.
What did he just flash on? He flashed on the ground. And rightfully so, gets shut down.
And now they're going to be able to push Lived away as well. I mean, I felt like that one was obvious. You could start the Yakety Sax music for the chase down the river, unfortunately, in that situation, as Lived is now going to try and get himself an assassination. He does, Only dies to push the wave in. We've found ourselves an unusual game of League of Legends. My takeaway is that Harry, very good player. Very good player, and he's a big part of this. So once again, we'll see how the fight starts. It's the Tarek Nocturne, something that we mentioned through draft. I mean, what do? You know, you don't have flash, you're Rare, you just die. Tarek stunned you, so there's no choice. Good exhaust to make sure that Ayla stays in the rest of this fight. And then it actually becomes the Hayri show. Swiper dies before he can press his R button. So you'll see him just get hard focused. And then a big stun from Hayri as that happens effectively to make sure that they can't continue to chase forwards. That's 1 kill, Bass is gone, and then you just keep your eyes on the Cassiopeia. Only's just going to do as much damage as he can, use the repel nicely. Tarek gets shut down, and you stop. At this point, you just stop.
Yeah.
You're good.
Enough is enough.
But anytime you dash forwards there as Liv, you're the only one with mana. So of course they're going to throw the cocoon on you. They've got a Nami for heals. And now you're unfortunately, you are just inting the game away.
You've just been donated a flash usage on your ADC. But you can understand the idea behind the play to start things off with, you know, the members of Order all collapsing into, be within range to collect that tower plate gold. Get that kill. Over chasing, bites them in the backside.
We're still close. You can't blame them for chasing. I always like the aggressive choice. It's just not the one that I would have made in that situation. And now there is a 4-0 Cassiopeia to contend with. He'll be getting closer to the second items, and that may well be the Zhonya's. Something to stop the Nocturne pressure, Nocturne Taric combo. Stopwatches will be a pretty big deal in this game for Order.
No, we've hit that 14-minute mark as both teams find themselves towers in opposite sides of the map. We return ourselves to a familiar situation. But it is going to be a full reset, it would seem.
I wasn't sure if it would be an Athene's or a Mikhail's from Ayla here on the Nami. I wouldn't mind the Mikhail's. Again, it's a big part of the combo that will be killing the one person that gets assassinated by a Nocturne Taric. But, I mean, to put perspective on that, it is still a 0-2 Nocturne, so his damage isn't that significant. They could maybe afford to just do both and go for the Athene's first and be super greedy and just sustain through a Nocturne's damage, which I think is entirely doable.
So they've come back with items. Liv now got the Dark Seal in hand. Sork boots online, and yeah, we'll be keeping an idea, or I should say keeping an eye on the bottom lane, especially those supports, to see how they try and itemize to influence these team fights in their favor. Side lane pressure right now as Kreku gets to work, but that's not what we're talking about. We're looking at this tidal wave. Will force back to burn that flash.
Yeah, big summoner spell to get. It also forces him to, I was going to say base, but he stays with half HP. He's also about to show himself, so probably wants to auto-attack the wave to get health back. But that's why Rare is threatening so forward, so aggressively. And they're hunting.
Yeah, he wants to utilize that passive to get some life leech back. Or not giving them that breathing room to work within. They are posturing right now as a knock-up goes in, followed by a stun, followed by an Ornhorn, followed by everything they can find. How did he not die? Only runs away, and now Big Switch jumps into the fray. 1v5, I can do it all, he says. I've got grit, I've got damage, and I've got boys to back me up. Taric ult comes in a little bit too late as the fight disengages. But Order meet their mark.
You can do it all, and he proves it there. Swiper just tanky enough, even though he only has the Trinity Force to survive, thanks to that grit. Now Harry chasing Nausicaa, missed the Q. But he will be able to chase him given that he's on the Cloud Soul. But he's not.
Rare flashing for that fadeaway arrow.
Lift is so far on the other side of the map.
So
it was close. Nami heal saves Only's life. This is the second time that we have seen Liv go for Only at the side of a fight. Just happened in mid lane before after the skirmish. They didn't find him either time.
Looking for those Dark Seal stacks. He's looking to try and take this game into his own hands. Look for the flank.
I'll see this again. Nice little knock-up and good combo in the end from the side of Mammoth. And you do ask, how does he live? Well, end of the day, he just does. Just not enough damage.
He just does.
No, there just isn't enough damage to kill him. It was close, but then Swiper comes in, gets the Super Saiyan W off, and absolutely melts their health bars. And this is where Liv sees the low health Elise, was like, yeah, I'm going to get ya. And then for the next minute was like, yeah, I'm still going to get ya. But didn't.
Magic resist starting to be itemized here, and the majority of these bruises. They need a fair bit of it because Cassiopeia 4-0 has a lot of damage in her arsenal.
Big fan of wands that blast stuff. It's Hayri right now.
He's a bigger fan, he's got two.
I'm looking forward to the items that come from this.
So Mammoth rotate to the bottom side, looking to potentially take out Swiper. Unable to find that one. Order taking initiative and saying, well, if you're going to rotate there, we're going to start off this Rift
The
Herald.
Horn is out, bot lane.
They turn back their attention to this bottom lane. They invest a fair bit into it, Ornhorn and the Paranoia. Unable to find it.
Yeah, and Order are just going to disengage the Herald to go mid while Only finishes it off because they know the rest of Mammoth is bot side. Drake is definitely the objective that they're going to be looking at right now, and at the end of the day, I think the Rift Herald promise of breaking mid lane is pretty good. I think that's a trade that you would take. They were behind in gold earlier in this game, Order. Keep that in mind, and they've done well to slowly bring that back to being positive. And now they can start to accelerate once again.
Now take a quick look at those items. If you're looking on the side of Mammoth, 4 out of the 5 members having control wards in their inventory. Definitely wanting to try and establish some control. Obviously, their next objective being Baron. It's the major one to take in consideration up in 1 minute 20. They want to try and look for that wombo combo dream fight. You talk about how well they've set up these situations in lane, especially mid. You talk about that in a Dragon or a Baron pit. Very different story.
And we need to continue to reiterate the fact that choke points is always going to be the place that we want these fights. We saw a flash used by Baz earlier, still not available after he was caught in a choke.
Yeah.
Walking towards an Elise and an army. And that doesn't stop. Both teams, again, looking towards things like that. So this game becomes very much about who has control first, who makes the pick first, or forces the summoners from their opponents. And right now it's all Order. The blue side quadrant belongs to them in its entirety. And so not only are they threatening the top lane in a turret, it makes things even more pressured for the side of Mammoth if they want to engage.
Multiple threats from multiple different avenues. Many of those control wards used here defensively by Mammoth to make sure they don't get dived upon or find themselves caught in a rough spot. One dropped in mid lane there by Swiper. Vision is the key right now, as they've been caught a few times here by the wombo combo of a Nocturne engage to try and catch a member out.
This reset will be most of the vision required for Order to control the Baron area also. Kweku seems like he's pretty close to an item given the fact that he's taken the medium Krugs and then the baby boys. I think we could call them Kruglets. I like Kruglets now that I've said it out loud.
Given the fact they're in the driving seat of this game now, Order, all of that vision that you can see once again, Mammoth are looking to reinvest into and purchase. It's the same as has been done by Order. Every single member has one in their inventory, looking to basically say, this river is ours. If you want a face shaker, we have the tools to stop you from starting things up. So, vision dominance.
Absolutely. Mammoth utilized the reset, however, of Order to get some wards just a little bit deeper, but still nothing in the river that is meaningful just yet. I still go towards the Nocturne, still towards Bass. Where can he go? Can he utilize the Taric stun combo once again? It's not going to be the easiest thing to do consistently. Mid lane is always going to be the best place to get that done. Just proximity to the Taric. You need to be Nocturne ulting basically past the Taric so that the stun can be angled properly and can connect.
I want to see who he's got his Zeeks linked onto.
To be the ADC.
Whether or not he's going to have any cute synergy between that and Bass. But we're not going to see that in this situation. It is going to be LeBlanc that's going to get multiple members' attention.
Harry bot lane with no teleport. So the fact that they're looking so aggressively on the opposite side of the map is just pure confidence. They thought that the LeBlanc was out of position, and he was. But he's so mobile, it doesn't matter too much. And now Swiper is the one who seems mispositioned.
He's going to get CC chained out, fleeing, stunning, but finds a brace as he used that ultimate. Now he comes through with that haymaker, slamming the ground, dealing the damage, the true damage at that. And that will be true enough to start this one off as a 1-for-1. Is now fighting in that choke spot. This could be good right now as the bullet time comes out, saying do not pass. The Ornhorn to respond, only onto one. Rare caught with that. The rest of his team can re-establish it as a 4-man unit. Mammoth splits.
Yeah, quickly
now
dashes
Order
away.
can jump onto this one, capitalizing on the fact that it's a 2-for-2 split. Beautiful time actually as Nausicaa finds the solo kill with the boys, taking out the jungler of Order.
That was a messy situation, to say the least. That was
It was
Order.
like ants scurrying away.
Order were fighting with no carry there. They didn't have Harry, they didn't have Rare, and they used the blast cone to get out to safety, and then Swiper walked that direction, so there was no cone there to actually take. And they get caught in this weird position. Only just using that cone, unfortunately, put Swiper in this spot where, you know, most of the time you just walk it out. Now he goes forwards, he wants to trade. There's a spell shoot and a flash from Bass, however, so it means extra effort from Only has to go into getting that kill. And all of this time, we're just counting down the seconds. Everyone's here from Mammoth, and then finally the carries from Order get here. Misfortune style just throws down the ult, so does Ornn. and pushes them all away. And I thought at this point, Mammoth keep going. Styled, full HP, Quecker in a position to try and threaten them in a great spot where there's terrain everywhere to knock them up. But they just run away, they scatter. And then the double flash to kill only as they do struggle on the other side to survive, but they do.
And you did highlight the mention that this could be a game very much dictated by summoner usage, where you saw 2 flashes come out there to kill Secure. And we're not going to have a chance to survive here. We're going to have to wait and see what goes on here as CC comes upon CC.
Swiper.
It's just disgusting right now. Bullet time every time.
Harry.
It is damage. And Harry is steamrolling this team fight, spewing the poison, deleting their members. They ran through the Valley of Death. And they lived to tell the tale. Their order, not a single member except Ayla falls on down.
Yeah, this time it's Mammoth that looked towards the Drake. They wanted to start it up. It would be the third one for them if they lock it down, and then Order just come through. The cavalry arrives in force and they lock them down. No chance of a re-engage there from Mammoth because Hayri flashes forwards with his ultimate and just annihilates them. 6-0-1 is the scoreline of this Cassiopeia. Leandri's on board. This Baron will melt.
It really will, as you can see it seamlessly being transitioned from that Drake. Baron online. Order in a very comfortable spot.
It was a pretty convincing fight for them in the end, but keep your eyes on the Cassiopeia after Swiper takes them all in. Does very good damage onto all of them. And then the Ornn sounds the horn. Harry's like, absolutely not. And done. They win the team fight just from Mr. Kang there. The Cassiopeia put in some serious work. On the backside of the fight, Swiper still working with Rare, and they'll get lived. And that's the Baron.
And Liv is having such a hard time. The fact that he's trying to flank every single team fight, by the time he gets himself in, the rest of his team have collapsed. Ayla utilizing that exhaust to great effect. Every single time that flank comes in, he has got your mark. And, you know, very hard for Liv to really exert some of the strength that his kit has to offer.
Yeah, he's having a pretty hard time of it. The matchup in mid lane's hard enough once you dash forwards if the Cassiopeia is prepared to fight you as only. Has the sweeper going, so he knows things are fishy and does have a lot of tools to check pushes before his face goes into them and dies to a Taric. Well and truly in the driver's seat now with the Baron, you would actually expect Order to continue to just push forward, siege the lanes as best they can. 1-4 situation, they're engaging straight away.
They're going to throw everything at this one. They do find that shutdown. That's 1k in the pocket. Do they need anything else? No, they don't. But the talking point, surely, Rusty, has to be how many ultimates were used to make that happen.
I mean, yeah, but they get 1,000 gold. They stopped the push with Baron buff. I'd say that is just comprehensively worth it for Mammoth. There's risks that maybe a turret falls down now in the next 40 seconds, but Order are using this time and they're still just clearing vision in the red side jungle. Swiper was showing in mid lane at the timing of that kill. Mammoth play it correctly, and while Order is still winning this game, it hasn't been the cleanest from start to finish. It's been shaky.
Mammoth playing well, understanding the situation and playing around those ultimates that have been quintessential to their success.
Chains on, Nordica's following.
He's looking for it.
This will be a long chase if they want to kill Swiper.
They're going to chase him on down. 3 members are here. Actually, now it's going to be 4 members. He's biting the bullet. He's taking the time, and he manages to find himself a little gift wrap at the end of it all.
Yeah, just gets the 1-for-1 when 4 people go up to him, and that's a case of Mammoth just not defending their turrets as much as looking for kills, because they got a sniff earlier in bot lane with Hayri being dead. I mean, even if it was a 1-for-0, they'd lose the bot lane in a turret for it, and Mammoth maybe regretting their decision in the end either way.
A taste of blood. And then they go hunting. And Order respond with vengeance. Taking out an easy kill there onto Taric.
Oh, it's also really nice with the Nami changes to be a Cassiopeia.
Absolutely.
The next spell's dealing damage, you hit some Twin Fangs and you just annihilate health bars. Oh, that's the goods. As you can see, Baron buff is very important for ending this game. Exhibit A. Teleport actually going to tank the turret, so it seems like they want to be very aggressive and push forwards while they can. Quecker accidentally starts crafting some items, so clearing the wave isn't going to happen.
Yeah, and they're utilising the fact that a big part of this composition for Mammoth is down for another few seconds. Tower's gone. They're going to look to try and take this
down.
inhibitor, but they're going to fight without it regardless. The Ornhorn to start things off with as Nocturne jumps in. He can't do anything. He is seated, he is grounded, and he is deleted. As now, Order, with anger in their eyes, do take that inhibitor.
And with no Baron buff, they know Misfortune has nothing to offer in the way of ulting right now as well. They're just going to push to end. They're just going to stay mid, and they're just going to run it down until it works.
A flash stun comes out, and this is the response. Now that Tarek is alive, he's going to try and make these people invulnerable. He's going to try and find some kind of retaliation, but only repels, goes golden. Lived can't do anything. He's zoned out of this team fight. And Order flawlessly execute, working towards the end of this game, working towards the end of week 3. They will claim a victory. They will go one-on-one, and we will have a very happy coach on the couch with us.
And they still got pushed. You know, Order are the team who wins. They'll be happy they got the victory. It's 1-1 on the day. But there's still a situation where this game ends and you're just like, oh, sigh of relief. Why was that so hard?
Yeah.
We're playing a 0-5 opponent, but it doesn't matter, they get it. And that's what they'll say at the end. Could have been a lot better. But Hayri, big performance from the Cassiopeia in the mid lane. He helped them a whole lot.
He sure did. Only had played the Orianna and the LeBlanc, busts out the Cassiopeia and debuts it with a blitz of a performance, really. Putting in so much damage, so much carry potential.
And we mentioned this last week when we looked at the bottom of the table teams running through the league is moments. And there were definitely moments
Yeah,
from Mammoth
of course.
once again. There's positives to take away, but there's still so much cleaning up that needs to be done if they really want to challenge the teams above them. Because no matter how many times you see them get kills, you still look at their opponent and say, well, they're just going to take the next step and get something extra from you.
And I think the best example of that would have to be the fact that they get that kill in the bottom lane. They do get that shutdown god onto Cassiopeia, but then with that scent of success, decide, let's all in top lane. Let's try and get this. Sacrificing the fact that, hey, there are still some very strong members on this Order lineup. They can still take down those structures. And it's consistency seems to be the common factor here for Mammoth. Definitely not out, but definitely looking to build upon some of the success they have found. For the final time today, let's jump back to the couch as we go back to Nick Boy and Spawn.
Thank you very much, Harry. He did mention before that a very happy coach to be on the couch. The first 3 quarters of that game, though, even my blood pressure was spiking through the roof, and I don't even play for Order.
I'm very glad that I am very diligent on muting my microphone. That's all I'm saying. That there was some explicits flying around the bullpen upstairs.
Why'd you keep it so spicy?
Well, honestly, it was just for level 1. We invaded Elise. We invaded their red, failed, and then my ADC died. So from there, we had to keep it proactive to win the game and get a gold lead back.
There must be an element of, the casters were saying relief for that game to be over, but also the mental fortitude to not get in your head. You're going against a team that have lost every game in the split so far. You don't want to give them their first win. It's going back and forth the entire time. There's some mental strength to get through that.
Yeah, most definitely. Honestly, I don't think our attitude was focused on them. It was mostly on us and rebounding the game from the first game where we lost. So I think focusing on ourselves and then just keeping each other up was what we did.
So what do you do, I guess, to refocus each other, right? You're all from Melbourne at the moment, so it's not like you can go back to a gaming house or anything like that. What did you guys do for the couple of hours?
Honestly, we just chilled. Some people got food, and then we came back. We spoke about the game, talked about what we did wrong, what we improve on for next game, and then we just mentally reset.
Okay, and Bill, you're a kind of softly spoken guy, right?
Yep.
What did you say to Ronan when he didn't flash the Braum stun at level 2?
Oh, the Tarek
Tarek stun.
I just said it was alright. It happens.
That's so nice. What did you really say?
We've had a few shocking Soluka games, so it happens.
Right, okay.
Yeah, all right, cool, Bubba. Talk to me about Rare, though, because obviously you played with Raze, who's at the moment the most experienced AD carry in the league. Now you're moving over to Order. You're playing with Rare, new AD carry. I believe this is the first time we've spoken to you on the couch.
It is.
If it's not. So, how have you found working with him?
So I think Raze compared to Ronan is definitely a lot different. Raze was more soft-spoken in lane. He didn't really talk much. But I think Ronan he always wants to be proactive, always looking for stuff. And I guess my job changes coming, like, working with him. Like, now I'm all of a controller, like, keep it calm, you know.
Don't flash.
Focus on things, yeah?
Yeah.
Do flash. Not yeah, but, like, so it's definitely different, but honestly, I'm liking it so far.
Cool. Well, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Thankful for it. Thankful to have
So
you
am
here
I.
as well. You can relax a little bit, but
My
not too
blood
much.
pressure is like legitimately like 140 over 90.
It was bad. But we are going to be heading into the NPL in a moment. Stick around while we close out the show. A look at the results from today. Whew, it's over. We got through it. Pentanet.gg taking out Order for game number 1. I'm sorry, Ayla, you have to be here to relive that. Chiefs taking down Gravitas for game 2. Legacy with the win over Pentanet.gg for game 3. And finally, Order come out on top against Mammoth for game 4. A look at the standings as they stand as a result of this weekend. Chiefs Legacy tied first. Then got Direwolves and Order for tied 3rd and 4th. Gravitas and Avant tied 5th and 6th. Pentanet.gg 7th. And Mammoth rounding out the table at 8th.
That's just a mess. Like, isn't that just a mess of the standings right now?
They
You've
are.
got
Oh, sorry. Gravitas, Avant, and Pentanet.gg.
all
actually
even,
tied.
right? But that middle section
Yeah.
of 3 to 5 has one team like difference in there, and everyone has kind of beaten everyone. I think Avant beat Direwolves, Order beat Avant, Pentanet beat Order, and Gravitas somehow like beat a couple of people in there. That is a very messy middle of the table.
It is messy, but at the same time, it bodes well for some drama going forward. In that, if everyone could stay this close, I mean, talk about the blood pressure, guys.
Yeah, most definitely. I think the gap between the top teams is definitely not as big as the standing show. So Chiefs and Legacy are definitely beatable for the middle of the pack teams so far.
I love this confidence. Well, you'll get a chance to prove some of that next week because we will be coming back with more OPL action. Friday sees Gravitas versus Order for game 1, Pentanet.gg versus Mammoth for game 2, Direwolves taking on Order again for game 3, and finally Legacy and Chiefs. Someone has to lose that game. The E-Clasico for game 4.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's crazy that we play Gravitas twice before we play Direwolves once. Like that to me like is a really, interesting experience. However, yeah, you're right. That game 4 of the day, Legacy versus the Chiefs. OPL Clasico. Who you got, Bill? Who's winning?
I'd have to go for Chiefs, my old team.
That's good. Is that just like team patriotism, or you actually believe it in your heart?
I do believe they're the better team at the moment.
Well, they will have a chance to prove it. It's exciting that we will have a winner.
Yeah,
at
absolutely.
Top of the table as of next week. We've got other winners as well. We've got the OPL anime competition.
Ooh, you like anime?
Do you like anime?
Yes,
You're a
I'm a
big
huge fan.
You should. Can you draw?
I wish, but I can't.
Even better. You should definitely enter then. We've got the OPL anime competition running where you guys send in your entries to join our closing credits. The winner, we've got 3 winners this week, at Ben Cav, who drew this Mammoth. Is that Liv? Yeah, it is.
Liv
And
and
Akali is there at the front. Congratulations to Ben. The second winner is Lady Dubsy, drawer extraordinaire, who has drawn me as Magical Boy. I approve of that. I'll cut your hair. And then the final winner is Davo Erlo with the OPL honk.
And Davo, you're a big supporter of the show.
Big.
However, your content
Terrible.
from Nautilus cosplay to OPL logo
Yeah.
needs to step up. But the first one was pretty good.
Lacking. Very, very lacking. So congratulations to you guys. You do win the Heartseeker range of skins.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you
One
get
of them.
Yeah,
Not the
not
whole
all
range.
of them. You don't
Yeah,
get
just
all
one
of
of them. Keep
Um,
entering if you want more of them. Best anime?
I like Attack on Titan.
I agree. No, Attack on Titan, and also I really loved Yuri on Ice.
I haven't watched that.
It's about a young ice skating boy who discovers love. It's very, very good. It's very good. It's actually very, very good. All right, where am I up to? I'm up to thanking you all for watching. A big thank you to our sponsor, McDonald's, for helping make all of this possible. A big thank you to the teams. A thank you to the casting team, Spawn, Rusty, Harry. It's been a pleasure to hang out on the official show, but the unofficial show,
The MPL.
the MPL, the
OPL
OPL
Up Late.
After Dark, Up Late, whatever you want to call it. You need to join us at some point.
Yeah, I'll be down.
He's actually ARAM king.
I do spam my ARAMs.
You
often.
do?
Yeah, I'm a huge fan.
You need to come along then. That would be amazing. You probably have a flight though.
What's the time? 6, 7, 8? Isn't it 8 o'clock? What time's our flight?
9:55.
We could fit it in.
No, you can stay.
We could
Absolutely.
definitely stay.
Oh, yeah.
I'm on the same plane because if we miss it, we're missing it together, Bill.
There you go. And
What are the
I
takes?
assume we haven't got anyone else lined up, and if we do, they can just go away. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. It's been a pleasure. We will see you next week for more OPL, and we'll see you in 5 minutes for the MPL.
Nice shoes.
Thanks.
Onto Swiper. That might not be the target because he pops the grit and he survives for a very long time. Tarek Ultimate stacked on top of the Nocturne, followed up by a bullet time. That's everything thrown into it to deny Rare of any comeback potential. He's 0 and 2.
And now this is the repercussions of
This
Swiper
is
going.
indeed the bubble lands onto Norska, followed out here. They go golden, and Swiper just gets buried alive amongst multiple members. But this is where Harry can really shine. The poison going big. It's spreading onto multiple members. AoE is the key right now. As CC comes upon CC. It's
Swiper.
just disgusting right now. Bullet time every time.
Harry.
It's his damage. And Harry is steamrolling this team fight, spewing the poison, deleting their members. But they're going to fight without it regardless. The Ornhorn to start things off with as Nocturne jumps in. He can't do anything. He is seated. He is grounded. And he is deleted. A flash stun comes out, and this is the response. Now that Tarek is alive, he's going to try and make these people invulnerable. He's going to try and find some kind of retaliation, but only repels, goes golden. Lived can't do anything. He's zoned out of this team fight. They will claim a victory. They will go one-on-one. And we will have a very happy coach on the couch with us.
Introducing Macca's Mini Games. Play today and win on the My Macca's app.
Woo! Winning!
Every play wins one of your Macca's faves.
Tiyaku, tiyaku,